Hi, Raul Jimenez here with the Schrader Group, and I'm joined with Ronnie Suarez, president of Integrity Roofing and Siding. And we're going to talk a little bit about the ins and outs of the roofing process, what to expect, and kind of get it straight from the guy here himself. So why don't we just dive in? So I'm wearing a jacket inside because it's nice and 70 degrees, but outside it's tough. It's hot outside. How does the heat affect roofing systems in the house altogether?
Yeah, the Texas heat is brutal. It is very tough on homes, on roofs, on siding, on really everything, windows included. The heat can deteriorate, shingles. It can even have an effect on metal, tile, a lot of the vinyl on siding, even hardy. I mean, it's really tough on homes. So I think that the best way to do it is obviously to start considering some reflective materials that we use. And what's great about a lot of these manufacturers nowadays is they have that in mind. A lot of them are very eco-friendly. A lot of them have reflective granules like in the shingles. And windows, of course, we know are low emissivity.
Yeah.
So the heat is tough, and it's a challenge for all of us in San Antonio that do business here or as homeowners or building owners. But fortunately, we have some great products out there nowadays that are going to help us do that.
Talk a little bit about your background and your experience. I mean, you come from a wonderful family. I mean, everything about you seems promising and positive, and that's the Integrity name.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I learned the roofing business from my father. So my father had a roofing business that he started in 1981, and he had it for 26 years. And I grew up in the roofing business. When I was in high school, my summers were spent on job sites. He forced me to go to the job sites, put those bundles of shingles on my shoulder, carry them up the ladder. Back in those days, we hand carried everything to the roof. So I learned the business from my dad. I watched him through college. I watched him, build a great rapport with his customers, and I knew that he had a huge heart for his customers. He wanted to always do the right thing. We always treated everyone's home as if it were our own.
Sure.
And so that's kind of the culture that I was brought up in. Well, and then my dad got ill. He had a stroke and wasn't able to continue on with the business. So a few years later, I decided to start my own. Okay. And then my dad got healthy again. I said, Dad, come on board. And he's my vice president of production. And we were off and running. And so now here we are 20 years later with Integrity Roofing and Siding.
And this is a family business outside of everything that you just said. But I mean, you have your wife, Stephanie, which is amazing. And then your kiddos are involved as well.
Yeah. So Stephanie is our vice president. My father's vice president of production, although he's semi-retired. He's just comes around a little bit. He just does the stuff, in office, typically. I've got my daughter who graduated from Texas State. She's doing our marketing for us. And I've got my nephew, Ricky, who is also doing marketing and intake for us. And I've got my cousin, Rob Belden, who's one of my heads of production for us. And I've even got my daughter's boyfriend working over there.
So we got him doing all the hard work.
He's a sales trainee, so yeah.
So, Roddy, for me, local matters, and you hit that, you locally owned and came up through San Antonio. What are some of the other things that, makes you guys so great? Integrity Roofing, I mean, with integrity, I think competence.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, the name Integrity, that's just not a catchphrase for us, not just in our name. It's who we are. It's a culture that we've created with all of our staff. We've got people that work for us that have been working for us for 12 to 15 years. I mean, like I said, we're going on our 20th year. And they really believe in what they do, and they really believe in taking care of people. And it's about our community. It's about taking care of customers and really treating every project like if it was our own home. And so that's really important to us. The warranties are really big, for us, because a lot of companies out there, it's really hard. We call it the license plate warranty. Yes, I see their truck drive off. The license plate, that's as far as their warranty gets. But what good is a warranty if a company is going to be here today and gone tomorrow? And so that's something that you really have to consider. Our warranty for siding and for roofing, if we're doing a full replacement, is a lifetime workmanship warranty. And so you've got to do the whole system with us, which is it's a full system, roofing and siding installation. But we stand behind that warranty, and that's what we're about.
Well, I like the phrase license plate warranty because there's a lot of those people out there. So I'm glad you guys stand behind your product and do what's right by the customer. One of the things that I like, and since we are very listing heavy on my side, is I go evaluate properties and roofing systems, and some of the biggest things we see is trying to catch things early, right? Try to prevent something before it turns into something large. Can you hit on how that's really key and maintaining number one values, but also big problem?
It's imperative that when you see an issue with your home, whether it's your roof or your siding, anywhere on what we call the envelope of the home,
Right.
you want to make sure that if you've got shingles that you find on the floor, on the ground, on the yard, you've got discoloration on your roof, maybe you have some cracked siding planks, anything that you see, you need to take action quickly because it can turn into much worse. You can turn into leaks inside the home, which can create mold, which damages all kinds of other things. So it's very important to get a professional out there as soon as possible. And in regards to an insurance claim or knowing that you might have seen hail in the area, you might see a neighbor getting their roof replaced.
Right.
If you know that you have a potential hail or wind claim, you only have from the carrier 1 year to get that claim started.
1 year.
So that's really important because you don't want to miss that deadline and miss the opportunity to have the insurance potentially pay for it.
So you mentioned insurance, and I found that a lot of people, when I'm talking to them, I have to kind of educate them as well because they feel like it's a car, right? If you get in a fender bender, your insurance is going to go up. But you hit something on hail and wind or acts of nature, right? Will you describe the difference between an act of nature versus something that you or your family get accidentally or whatnot, because people think that their bills are going to go up?
Yeah, hail and wind claims are because hail has hit the roof and damaged the integrity of the roof shingle or the metal roof or whatever it may be. Wind can come in and uplift the roof and create damage, right? But the powerful winds can come through and do that. But something that's just maintenance is the gutters can get filled with leaves and get debris that can back up water. Same thing with your fireplace.
Right.
Behind that chimney, you've got a valley back there that debris will build up in. So as a homeowner, it is our responsibility to have someone inspect that roof often and inspect that siding as often as you can to get ahead of some of these problems. But those are items that insurance would not cover. Okay. It's just what we would consider
preventive
maintaining your home.
Okay. So like deferred maintenance is what I learned about it. Okay. But what if there is a claim and they're scared to pull the ticket? I mean, will they, if the insurance comes out and says, yeah, we're going to go ahead and purchase this roof, does that necessarily mean that my bill is going to go up?
No, so the Texas Department of Insurance, they make their determining factor on premiums based on the whole state.
Okay.
Statewide. And, statewide, we have a lot of storms. We've got hailstorms up in Dallas very often, somewhat close to Tornado Alley. So there's a lot of damage. So that's usually what makes our rates go up. I would not be too concerned as an individual homeowner or an individual building owner making a claim and thinking, well, my rates are going to go up.
What would you say is one of the biggest misunderstandings?
So there's a misunderstanding out there right now about deductibles.
Okay.
And so we, the state requires us all as the insured to pay our deductibles. When there's a hail or a wind event, which determines there's a claim, we have to pay our deductible. There actually has been a law recently. It's the House Bill 2102, and it went into Texas legislature in 2019. And it's very strict on the fact that contractors can't pay the homeowners deductibles. And you have a lot of contractors that are going door to door and they're telling people, hey, we'll pay your deductible. And it's very enticing as a homeowner because nowadays some of these deductibles are 1-2%.
Right.
That's quite a bit. It can be very expensive for a deductible. And that's why we finance a lot of deductibles for our customers.
Okay.
We have third-party financing, a little bit of in-house financing. So we do finance those. But I would say not to let an unscrupulous contractor take you down because it's insurance fraud. Because that's something that I see people need to really understand is that it's Texas law and you can get jail time or stiff penalties.
Oh, wow.
For doing that.
Which is kind of similar to us. We can't provide down payment for our buyers because then, we're crossing that barrier. So I totally understand that. Now, the thing that I've been seeing a lot lately is these trends or the hype about this new roofing system, how to get an extra 20 or 25 years out of it. What is your take on that? Or what does that mean?
There's one out there right now where contractors or companies are advertising that they can get up on your roof and they can spray the roof and make it last a much longer, a lifetime or 20 years or whatever.
Like with the power wash? What are you talking?
It's a soft wash. Is
Okay.
what they're calling it. And it's a chemical. And sometimes it's a soy-based chemical.
Okay.
But still, it's a chemical that's going to get on typically a shingle roof. So an asphalt shingle roof is what this works best with. And what it helps is the discoloration. You see those streaks that are up on a roof, and you think, my roof looks really old. It can certainly help with streaks. But when you have a leak, the leak needs to be repaired, not a spray to clean the roof. And sometimes they're advertising that. When you need a new roof because of the age, it has to be replaced.
Right.
So you can't cut corners. I would hate to see homeowners and consumers buy something that they're really not going to get a lot of value on. There are some very short-term research that shows that it could help deterioration or not deterioration, but discoloration rather. But there's no long-term research really about this. And so it would be something that I would not do on my roof. And plus, you don't want all that foot traffic on your roof.
Right.
Anytime someone gets up on a roof, for whatever reason, the roof is made of asphalt and it's got granules. And so you start walking on that roof, even if you have the right shoes, you're gonna cause foot damage. You call it foot traffic. So I'm not a big fan of that trend.
Fair enough. But you hit something right there. The shingle itself. We all know there's a 3-tab, and then we know there's the architectural shingle.
Right.
One carries a different value on life versus the other. Sometimes I get in a house like, I have a 30-year warranty on my house for my roof, but it's not truly the case. It's more of the longevity of the shingle, right?
Right. Different shingles have different warranties associated with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the 3-tab shingle, it's a 25-year warranty, but it's a prorated warranty.
Okay.
The architectural shingle, which we also call dimensional, that has a lifetime warranty.
Mm-hmm.
That's prorated as well.
Okay.
And when it comes to the manufacturer, they cover it for lifetime prorated or 25-year prorated. But the workmanship warranty is something that's very limited. They don't cover the workmanship warranty. Now, if you have a defect on that shingle, yes, they will cover to replace or install rather that shingle, but they don't pay for removing the shingle. They don't pay for all the accessories that go along with that shingle. They'll just come and supply you with new shingles if there is a manufacturing defect. So that's why extended warranties, and we offer our customers extended warranties. Those are really important. And it's just like a vehicle, like you were referring to earlier.
Sure.
You want to get that extended service.
Now, you had mentioned something, and I was just thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, you said siding, right, is a big part of the components of the house. And now that I think back on it, I would say anywhere between 75 to maybe 85% of houses that are being built or already built have some sort of siding factor, whether it's the old school wood teardrop versus the hardy plank that we see now. Why is siding so important to get evaluated, and why is that really one of those things that we got to pay attention to?
Yeah, siding is just as important as roofing, really, because it's a last line of protection inside your home. And so siding, it could be wood, like you said, it could be hardy, it could be vinyl. All of them get damaged by the weather. Wood can rot, right? You can get termites in your wood. It can create more problems. Vinyl gets damaged by hail and damage. Vinyl warps. We are a big customer who sells a lot of James Hardie fiber cement siding.
Right.
And I'm sure that a lot of homes nowadays are being built with James Hardie fiber cement, which I think is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because it's termite resistant if it's installed correctly.
Right.
You see a lot of these homes that have a lot of cracks on the planks. They've got shifting going on, so the siding can be affected there. But it's also great for energy efficiency.
Right.
When you have a good siding that's been installed correctly, that's sealed correctly, you keep the heat out, right, during the hot months. You keep the heat in during the colder months, and so energy efficiency is very important with siding.
Now, you hit something real quick. You specialize in all kinds of roof. What is your scope of work when it comes to roof? Shingles?
We do a lot of shingle replacements. We do a lot of metal stacked seam. We only do one type of metal, and it's standing seam.
Okay.
You'd see those vertical lines up on those metal roofs. We do those. We do concrete and clay tiles as well. And we do a lot of commercial work. We do a lot of TPO, is what we call thermoplastic olefin. It's a single ply, the white commercialized roofs that you see on a lot of buildings nowadays. We do a lot of that. And that's about it for roofing. And then on siding, we really focus on James Hardie fiber cement. We do also do some vinyl. We're able to do vinyl,
Right.
but it's kind of a trend that's kind of fading away. We do a lot of woodwork. A lot of wood gets damaged. And a lot of customers want to come back with wood because of either the historic homes they have, or they just like the look of wood and cedar. So we do a lot of that as well.
Where the viewers go and find information, or how can they book?
Well, they can go online, www.integritysa.com. They can also call us at 210-340-ROOF. And then online, we make it very customer friendly. We have Calendly. They can set up an appointment direct without even talking to anybody, or they can call in and talk to us, and we'd be happy to figure out what their schedule is and book an appointment for them.
Sounds amazing. Well, Ronnie Suarez, thank you so very much for being here. They totally have my full endorsement, and we hope you got some value out of this video. Please like and subscribe our channel, and we look forward to serving you in the future. Thank you all so much, and have a blessed day.